I grow everything that will easily grow here. I'm still eating this nut. It has to grow easy, and it has to be something I like. For example, you won't see kale in my vegetable garden because I don't care for kale. So that's just an overall answer. I will say this is that most people, when they think about vegetables, entirely focus on vegetables too much instead of focusing on other things like nut trees, fruit trees, vines, for example grapevines, and bushes like raspberry bushes and stuff we'll see here. I actually get more food production not from vegetables, but I get it more from the other things that I named. So I grow just about everything that you can grow here. These are summer squash, and behind the summer squash are Swiss chard. Swiss chard being an incredible crop for Mariposa in that you can harvest Swiss chard almost every day of the year, including in the wintertime. Up here, the only thing it doesn't like is to get crushed by the snow. And what I do is I put cages over the top of it. When there's going to be a snowfall, I'll put something over the cage to stop the snow from crushing the chard. And I can eat chard virtually every day. Collards are another thing I grow, and you're not seeing it here yet, but there's places. I do grow quite a bit of corn. This garlic, I can tell by the color of it, it's time to come out. So, we now have fresh garlic. Garlic is the single easiest thing there is to grow. Everybody ought to grow garlic. The rule of thumb is that you break off individual cloves, you plant it in the fall. It grows through the winter time where you don't have to water it or don't have to attend to it at all. You can even grow in a flower pot, you can grow in containers. And the rule of thumb, once again, plant in the fall, you harvest it at the last rain in the spring. If you don't get it out of the ground soon enough, the only negative thing that will happen is the sheath on the outside will start to deteriorate. It doesn't affect the garlic at all. Now, this particular cultivar has little babies in it here. And if you want to, you could actually use them just the way they are. Boy, those kind of look interesting. They might go in those potatoes really well.
Yeah.
Wonderful. I have to try that out. But I could plant those individual this fall if I wanted to. So that's the other thing you can do with garlic. Okay, while we're standing here, I want to, people, let me think of the way to say this. People usually go with tomato cages because that's how big they expect their tomatoes to get. My tomatoes get so much bigger than that. They overwhelm tomato cages. So I put these permanent fences into the garden. These are actually livestock panels that come in 16-foot lengths. They're not cheap. The concrete blocks aren't cheap. Excuse me, concrete block. But if you budget this out over a period of 10 or 20 or 30 years, there's almost no cost involved if you look at it over the long run. And I'm really tough on money. This is the best way to save money, is to do it right to begin with. So I plant my tomatoes right on the fence. Now what I will have to do is about once a week, I'm going to have to help wind them through the fence. And here's what's going to happen. They're going to come all the way to the top of the fence. They're going to come all the way over the other side, and they're all the way going to touch the ground. That's why I have to have such a strong fence here. So, and you might notice there's drip irrigation already woven through here. So the drip irrigation is watering right at the roots where they need to be. Here's another little thing. Notice the distance out to my first thing here. Now you can conclude there's room to plant something else here. You don't have to have just tomatoes. So we can, look at that soil. So I could come here this afternoon, put maybe 10 green bean seeds in the ground right here, and I'll have green beans coming along with my tomatoes and what have you. So if you extend these out a little bit wider, you actually make better use of the garden, of every square inch of it. So there you go.